Okay, so here's a look at my week for next week. This is just more of my general plan, and just in terms of what the days are and when we have preps. Just on Wednesday is our field trip to Lee Academy in the morning, so the timing changes in the afternoon because Dino is going to take my students period 5 on that day, and duty was switched. The rest is fairly normal for the week. So in terms of literacy, on Monday, we're going to look at the provocation of the settings that are already out on the tables and talk about how to label and describe them. I'd really like to have a look closer at adjectives and the types of adjectives to use. Many students are using words like the color words, but it would be great to kind of get them thinking deeper about them. And with the settings already there and some already started on the back counter, I think this would be a really good one to get the students thinking a little bit more. Then on Tuesday, teachers, and the provocation for that one, I want to use the stuffed animals and have a look at dialogue. Especially writing them in complete sentences, using resources to help, and really expanding on the ideas. Many people are using dialogue, but it might just be like, oh, hi, how are you? Versus trying to get a little bit deeper with their thinking. So I'm thinking that if we work on that one a little bit together, then we can go from there to having the students create their own and hopefully use it as part of their plays. On Wednesday, the block is kind of missed because of our visit to the academy. We'll just have time when we get back to do, because of Dino taking the kids as well, we'll do our independent guided reading groups, but that will be it for the day. On Thursday, I'd like to have a look at some nonsense words plays. My plan is to write another one for this week. Really focusing in on doing those nonsense words. It is good for phonemic awareness. It does connect with DIBELS that we're doing as well, which I think will help. And we'll be doing another assessment this week, so I'll get a good idea there in terms of the skills, but I've certainly got a lot of kids at that particular level, so I think that that will be a good review for all of them as well. And my hope is that after we practice one, they can kind of write their own. This would also even just be good for rhyming words and word families for my students that are at that level too. On Friday, I'd like to look at some character roles needed for the different communities and settings. This may even connect with some of the nonsense plays that they did the day before, but really kind of putting it together and what roles do they play, what are their responsibilities, kind of practicing the plays, but really looking at kind of a character sketch on that day. So I'd like to kind of get into that piece a little bit more to get deeper with some of the characters that are going to be involved. Some of the students, as they're kind of planning out a play, have started to do that. This will be a good way to really have them narrow it down. So time is going to be a big focus for this week in math. So on Monday, it is our Math Talk Mondays. My projector bulb is still out, so at the time we're going to look at Explain Everything, and I've used some pictures to kind of have a look at our day. And then what I want the students to do is, after having a chance to discuss, is creating pictures and structures that represent what happens during the day. And so then they can kind of see the connections in terms of where it happens throughout the day. And the idea is at the end, putting those pieces together and determining at what point in the day different things happen. And then on Tuesday, students are going to get to share what they learned by creating their own look at the day with kind of key time frames, with morning, afternoon, evening. And I want to show them how they can even use Scratch as an option to share. And if they choose not to, we'll look at a few other options that can also be used as part of the class. But with the idea being that they really kind of get into that concept of what happens when, and hopefully starting to bring in the concept of the time. So on Wednesday, as I said before, with our trip, we will not have a chance for this block, but we will have a quick independent reading and guiding reading time when we come back. I probably won't have time for everybody, but we'll work within the groups of people that are on the trip. And then on Thursday, I want to have a look at the demonstration clocks that we've got and the link to telling time to the hour. We've done a little bit with telling time to the hour. They've looked at it. They're kind of taking a look at my clocks, and as the hand touches the hour, they're a little more aware in terms of those times. So first looking at telling the times, and then what kind of happens at the different hours in our schedule, and then kind of creating their own mini set of either pictures or video that would show what happens at different hours during the day. This could be something they could do as part of a group, but kind of putting it together with the actual times with the demonstration clocks. So there becomes meaning for those clocks. And then that's something we could share with others. So even as part of our Storify story, the kids could become involved in kind of telling more of that story. On Friday, I'm out on a mentorship day in the afternoon, so there is a supply for this block. But what we're going to do is we're going to look at a play for the beginning of the following week. This will be the shared reading text that we do with the nonsense words, and they're going to need to create the setting for the play. And I'm going to kind of give them the prompts that we looked at even when creating our communities, which is looking a little bit about measurement in terms of sizes and position of objects, the 2D and 3D components, and kind of considering what to make, where to put it, and create a list together, and then they can determine the size and location of the objects, and we will put that together when we actually tell our present our play the following week and look at who we could actually present it to.